Toma time! What is going on, guys? Toma Tales here, and today I want to talk to you guys about something that has been happening in my life for the past few weeks and that just wrapped up yesterday. Now, this is one of those stories, one of those situations, one of those circumstances in my life that is definitely worth sharing to my audience because it is something that is seen a lot nowadays, and a lot of guys can get really messed up about these certain situations. Now let's start with the beginning. I work at a bar and I met these two girls at the bar. I met them, I said, hey, whatever, I got this Snapchat, and that was it. Now, on my off days, I like to go to work sometimes and drink. And that's what I was doing when I saw them, those two same girls. And they're very attractive, whatever, so I decided to sit with them and get a few drinks. We get a few drinks at my work, and then we go to a bar together. Long story short, we're both making out. I'm making out with both of them, and they both suck my dick at the bar. One of them in the bushes behind the bar, and one of them in the bathroom. So that happens, we go home, whatever. And after this incident, I see them around a lot. We even went out a few more times together. Another time we went out, we were hanging out at my bar again, but this time it was with another friend of theirs, so it was three of them and myself. Two other guys were drinking there with some other girls as well. And the girls I was with told me how much of a problem they had with those guys and whatever, and they were gossiping, just being, you know, college student girls. And obviously, I mind my business. I don't really say much. I just, you know, listen to them and whatever. Girls gossip. None of us said a word to each other until we left the bar. As we're leaving the bar, we walk past them, and one of the girls says something like, fuck you or something. And I didn't think they heard it, but they did. So one of the dudes, short, really buffy guy, screams something back to them, and then one of the girls goes to confront them about what they said, and the other two girls stayed back. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna follow the girl to make sure everything's okay, mind my business, but, you know, just be there if anything happens. And so as she is talking to them, I walk behind her, and they're basically just going at it, cussing at each other, whatever. He's calling her a slut, fucking ugly, this and that. I'm minding my business. I don't say a single word. I'm just watching. And then the guy starts talking about me. He said, hey, yeah, you too. I heard you talking shit, whatever. I was like, I didn't say a word. I really couldn't care less. But I'm not going to do anything, say much, until he directly has a problem with me or makes it a bigger deal than it needs to be. They keep talking, and eventually he does bring me into it. I'm silent the whole time, and then he starts saying, hey, what about us 5 against you 4? It was two guys of them and 3 girls. And as he says this, I still don't say anything because he's not looking at me. He's not making eye contact with me. He's telling this to the girl. So I'm just standing there as they curse at each other, and eventually he continues to say us 5 versus you 4. At the point where he looks at me and he basically says, like, do you have a problem or something? Like, I heard you talking shit. What's up, dude? And I'm like, at this point, he's looking at me. He's looking angry. And so I say, okay, get up. Dude gets up, he had like a flannel on. He takes his flannel off, and he's looking at me. And the first thing I do is I just punch him in the face. I punch him in the face, and then his like friends are like looking at him, and I'm like looking at him like, okay, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna try and fight me now, or did he take that warning shot as don't fuck with me? And he starts getting really angry, you can tell, and he jumps over this little barrier that was separating us because I was already outside of the bar, he was inside. He jumps over the barrier, we square up, I punch him in the face one more time, whatever, he falls against the car, and then as he's against the car, I punch him one more time and he falls to the floor. Yeah, that was basically the end of the fight. We walked away, we left, and we went out. And as we're out, you know, I'm making out with all 3 of the girls. We're having a great time. But there's one of the girls that I specifically started to like. It was the blonde girl. And so as we're, you know, hanging out at the bar and stuff, you know, obviously, I'm making out with all 3 of them, but I started taking the blondie to the side and, you know, kind of telling her, like, you know, like, I kind of like you, like, you're really cool, whatever, like, I think you're hot. You know, just the drunk kind of getting a slightly emotional talk. So we do that, and I'm like, okay, that went very well. We ended up all going home, but I started to think about this girl a little bit. Now, what I didn't mention is, do you guys remember when I said the first night she and her friend sucked my dick at the bar? If a girl ever does that to you, don't ever consider a relationship with them. Don't ever consider any emotional feelings, because she's a whore, and trust me, you're not that special. If she's willing to suck your dick the first night, she's willing to suck other guys' dicks too, and she's done it plenty of times. But I'm only human, and even though I don't want a relationship, I caught myself slipping a little bit and catching slight feelings for her. Now, once feelings get into the play, things get difficult, because it's a game of cat and mouse in this age of young kids. If you show that you like me, I don't like you. If she shows that she likes me, I don't like her. Who can leave who unopened, who cannot text who back has the upper hand. And so that's what we're doing for a couple of weeks, just texting each other, but always playing games. So one of my best friends, she has his number, the girl I started kind of liking. We'll call her Lindsay, whatever. One of my best friends has Lindsay's number because she asked for it. Now, when she asked for it, I was like, okay, she's just playing games again, whatever. I'll let her be. And they didn't really talk much, but long story kind of shortened. We were trying to set up a threesome between Lindsay, my best friend who works with me, and myself, just for shits and giggles, because it'd be cool. And so he was the one trying to make it happen. I didn't really care too much, but I was in for it, whatever. And she always acted like she wanted to, but she never actually did. And at this point, it's been like 2.5 weeks of us knowing each other, and I start kind of treating her as a whore. I don't really, I lose the feelings for her. I can see that she's just going out every week and getting drunk. She talks about if she loses her fake ID, she's gonna suck the guy's dick to get it back. She's doing everything you shouldn't do if you want to be seen as a respectable woman. And even one day I went to the hot tub with the three of them. At this point, she was acting weird towards me because she could tell I didn't really care about her anymore, and I just wanted to have sex, and I was just fucking around. I didn't care anymore. And so she was acting weird, and one of the first things she said to me was, yeah, I've been having a lot of threesomes this last week. I actually had like 2, and I never had them before. And I was just looking at her like, is this a contest of who's a bigger whore? I didn't say much. I just took it as what it was, and as I'm looking at her, she's like, no, like, I'm being serious. I actually had like 2 threesomes this week. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't really care, but I still want to fuck you. That's all there is to it. This night, which was 2 nights ago, I went to sleep, and in the morning I wake up with a text saying, well, I already stopped by your buddy's house last night. And I'm like, I just see the message. I don't even reply, because at this point I don't even take her serious. I'm like, she said so many lies about what she's gonna do, whatever. But I'm like, why? That's weird. She just texted me that she stopped by my buddy's house last night. So I'm like, okay, I don't really think about it much. But then I go to work, and my friend tells me that they had sex that night. That she went over to his place and they had sex. Now, obviously, it's a weird feeling to find that out, because I've been talking to this girl for about 2.5 weeks. I had some feelings for her before, and I know that the only reason she slept with him was to get at me, to make me feel a certain way, to possibly end my best friend and I's friendship. But all I can think was, this girl is being very typical, using her body to hurt other people. Now, the difference between men and women is, women will have sex to hurt another man. Men will have sex or cheat on a woman because they just want to have sex. There's no, bad intentions to it. And that's a big difference you should know between men and women. What it taught me personally is, don't catch feelings with a girl that does anything more than makes out with you in the first night. If she sleeps with you, if she sucks your dick, if she lets you touch her, in a sexual way, besides just making out, don't ever catch feelings for this girl, because she is indoctrinated into this society where being a slut is accepted and rewarded, and you can giggle with your other female friends about it. I mean, this girl thought that telling me that she had 2 threesomes within the week was cool. She was like proud about it. And for all of you guys that are out here building relationships, making connections after you slept with her the first night or noticed some scandalous activities, you guys can fall into the same situation that I did, where you catch feelings for a woman who doesn't respect herself, and in turn she uses your feelings against you when you realize that she's a whore, and she'll try to damage you as much as possible a lot of times sleeping with your best friend or someone you really care about. And it's not a great feeling. I'm happy that I didn't really have feelings for her anymore when it happened. It was still weird when I did find out because I was trying to sleep with her for 2.5 weeks. And for my buddy to sleep with her, it was weird. But another lesson is don't ever choose a girl over your friend. I have no ill intentions towards my boy. That's my best friend. Like, I'm happy that he had sex with her. She's really attractive. And just slightly jealous that I didn't have sex with her that night. We live in a world where who can hurt who more is a race to the finish line.